Hey everybody, it's Trinity with Moonstone Mystics and the Divine Path LLC here for some more 12-step tarot. And I have to first show you these earrings. My friend Kirsten made them. Aren't they lovely? I feel so cute today. I hope you do too. So before I got on here, when I was kind of putzing around the house, the message that I got was that there is someone who's going to be watching this who has been shitting all over themselves. So quit shitting on yourself, baby. If you're in recovery, it doesn't matter what you got done on your to-do list, particularly if you're in early recovery. If you did not pick up a drink or a drug today, you are already winning. It was a good day. Trust me. I'm the tarot lady. I know everything. I actually don't know everything. I've been wrong multiple times. I will continue to have times where I'm wrong, and that's okay. But what we're going to do here today is we're going to talk about character defects. Step 7. Well, 6 and 7. Kind of figuring out where our flaws are, where we could work on. This is with the assumption that you have done step 4 and 5. Which seem daunting. If you're new in recovery and you're working a 12-step program, don't worry about step 4 and 5. I promise you they will be liberating, to say the least. But step 6 and 7 is where we figure out what character defects we have to work on. And so we are going to go ahead and see what Spirit has to say. Because, I mean, why not talk to Source? Because Source has all the answers, you know, so let's go ahead and see. What do we need to know about step 7? And by the way, I'm using the Oracle of the 7 Energies for this. All right. The first card I got is card number 2. It's Roots of Abundance. Okay. The next card is card number 30, and it is Shining Through. Okay. And I just am going to forewarn you, I have yet to go through a reading where my nose doesn't start running the minute I have the camera on, and I just give up. I give up. My sinuses do what they want. So, anyway, yes, I know it's probably unattractive, but my earrings will make up for the cuteness. So anyway, looking at this and having it apply to step 7, the thing that we need to understand about step 6 and 7 and looking at the character defects that we're trying to, plow our way through and ask to be humbly removed from us is that sometimes when those defects are not removed, it's because they're there for a reason. We just need to learn how to use them appropriately. There's always a light side and a shadow side to anything on this planet. We are living in duality. So let's say that you have a lot of pent-up anger and you don't like being angry. There is nothing wrong with that anger, actually. It just depends on how you use it. So rather than projecting it onto somebody else, kind of ask your anger, why are you here? What are you trying to tell me? Oftentimes, anger is indicative of someone crossing our boundaries. If you're angry with yourself, that means that you crossed an internal boundary. It's information, and we can do something with that information. So don't be scared of the information that you're getting from your emotions. Just don't let your emotions run your life, okay? All right, next is that once we start looking at these character defects and have had our higher power remove them after humbly be nice about it, humbly asking for them to be removed, that is when we start learning who we really are. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Oftentimes when we're in recovery, we either never got to know ourselves because we never had the opportunity, or we have used and drank for so long that we've lost ourselves. And so this is kind of where we learn who we are, why we were made the way that we are, and we can give ourselves that grace and that dignity and learn how to love ourselves exactly where we're at, while still pointing in the direction of progress, spiritual progress. Because at the end of the day, I've said it before, I'll say it again. When we have an addiction, whether it's to a substance, to a person, to a habit, a process, like gaming, food, you can be addicted to just about anything. When we have that, we're trying to fill a hole that only our higher power can fill. And so that means that we've got a spiritual misalignment, we have a spiritual malady. And so working the steps helps us correct that, get it into alignment with where we should be going with our trajectory, and we can take steps to really manifest the life of our dreams. If I'm honest with you, I mean, that's the name of the game. I teach people how to manifest regularly, and we have a class coming up for the Divine Path on the 25th of August. So if you're watching this and interested in having a class being taught by myself, Glenda, and Susie from the Divine Path LLC, I'll put the link down in the comments. But the last class we had was so much fun, we decided to do it again right away. So and we have a blast doing it, and to boot, we get to manifest, really fast. So, my recommendation though, if you're in early recovery, and this is, ethics is so important to me when we're manifesting, it always has to be for the greater good, and B, a lot of people in early recovery think they know what's best for themselves to manifest. And my recommendation is, I know when I was in early recovery, I had no idea. I wanted love and money, everything would be fixed if I, had a healthy relationship and money to solve all my problems. And that was not the case. So, and that's, I'm not the only one. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. And so in early recovery, my recommendation is for you to take your manifestation practices and focus them on manifesting sobriety, manifesting better health, better habits. And as you're working a step program, if that's the way you're choosing to do it, because obviously if you're still here, you probably are, that will go hand in hand and will make the transition from working steps to being able to manifest other things in your life, like money, like love, those sorts of things. You can get there faster if you can take a step back for a little while and focus on the self. That's always really been key for me. And you can, if you're not sure what to manifest, you can always go into prayer and meditation, and you can also book a reading, and I can tell you exactly what your higher power, as you understand him or her, is kind of suggesting, because you do have free will in all of this, and that's one of the most precious gifts that we have in this lifespan, is our power of choice. And even our higher power that gifted it to us thinks that it's that precious. So we want to make sure that we're aligning that with the greater good, though, because that is always and forever going to be our higher power's will on earth, is when we can put good out into the world and make it a better place than when we found it. Anyway, let's go ahead and go back to step 7, character defects, and I will go ahead and pull some tarot on this. I'm very long-winded. See, here's my thing. I love doing these videos on YouTube, but I've noticed that my shorts get a lot more views than the videos do, which is understandable. I mean, I have the attention span of a goldfish too, but I hate doing them. Why? Because I'm so damn long-winded. So I'm going to try and figure out how to make a short out of this. I should probably have my daughter record the blooper reel for it, because swear words will be said as I'm trying to figure it out. All right. Step 7. Spirit, what do you need us to know about step 7? All right. So the first card we got is the Wheel of Fortune. This is the Keymaster Tarot, by the way. The next one is Justice. And the third one is Seven of Cups. All right. So when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing that this is how we change our trajectory, is learning how to use those things. First, we have to notice our patterns, and then we have to learn in steps 6 and 7 how we are responding and reacting to those patterns of situations that happen in our life. We tend to attract, and this is not to say that if you've been with abusive relationships or anything that you're doing anything necessarily wrong to attract them. It's just, it seems to just be that's how it is that we get stuck in certain cycles that we have to learn how to get out of. And this is really noticing the patterns first, and then looking at step 6 and 7, which is our character defects, is how we are able to change this Wheel of Fortune from being upside down to right side up. Okay, so this is part of the process of rectifying our karma. This is part of the process of learning how to change our ways so that when we go on to steps 8 and 9 and we're making those amends to people, we actually can say, I'm really genuinely sorry and I am a changed individual, without it being a complete pile of horse pocky. So, because I'm sorry doesn't cut it when we've been as destructive as we have been. And sometimes that forgiveness, that amends, needs to be made to the self. Don't forget about yourself, because a lot of times the self-betrayal is really what holds us back. Justice. This is really, I'm noticing the scales here. And so this is really talking about emotional balance for me. So learning how to emotionally balance, having emotional sobriety would be another way of putting that. So that we're not wanting to escape. We're not wanting to overreact when we get rejected. We can be secure in our own selves. That's what we're learning in this step. The other factor is the 7 of Cups. This is actually where we start not only having more choices, because in early recovery, we pretty much have every single choice stripped from us because people are just done with us more often than not. But we start being able to make more decisions for ourselves, and because we're learning how to trust ourselves, we're learning how to deal with our character defects in positive ways. And that opens up so many doors for us. And then we can also, with guidance, make good choices for ourselves instead of bad choices. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get one more message. Let me see. Here we go. I'm going to go back to the Oracle of the 7 Energies for a last message. Spirit, can you give us one last message? Thank you. All right. Oh my gosh. I think out of this entire deck, and this is a beautiful deck, but I think this is my favorite one. Exposed and Revealed. The artwork on it is just so gorgeous. This is really, it's just confirming that this is really where we start to get to know ourselves and start to get to learn how to love ourselves for exactly who we are. But the other undertone that I'm hearing in that card is the fact that, your higher power, as you understand him or her or it or they or them, it doesn't matter what pronoun you use, it is how you understand it, really made you this way for a reason. And this is the area where we can see why we were made in the way that we are, and then in turn learn exactly how much we're loved for exactly that. I have gotten to the point where I can genuinely look in the mirror and love what I see, and not from an egotistical standpoint, but just being able to look myself in the mirror and say, I love you, and really genuinely mean it, is a huge step forward for me, because I wasn't able to say that for decades. So, all right. Well, if this resonated with you, make sure that you like and subscribe. You can also book a reading with me on thedivinepathllc.com. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description, and or even better in the comments, depending on if I remember to do it, because ADHD is a thing with me. And I remember we've got the manifestation class on the 25th. And oftentimes we will have group healings the first Sunday of every month at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can sign up for that on our website as well. It is a really great way to get a lot of healing energy. You get all of us ladies just doting our energy on you, because we love you so much. So with that being said, I certainly hope that someone has told you today, but in case they haven't, know that I love you. Take care.